The Ugly Duckling. Beneath the branches of some burdock bushes, on the bank of a winding creek, sat an old duck on her nest hatching her young ones. By and by, one egg cracked and then another. Chick, 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 was heard as the little heads peeped out of the shells to be greeted with the quack, quack of the old mother duck. "Are you all here, my dears?" she asked as she arose from her nest. No, there lay the largest egg of all unhatched, and she sat down again on the egg just as an old duck waddled up to call on her. "How are you getting along?" she said. "They are all hatched but one, and it is so big it will not break," she replied. "Depend on it," said her visitor. "It is a turkey egg, and you'll have trouble, for turkeys can't swim." At last, the big egg broke. Tweet, tweet, and out crept a young one, but so very big and ugly that the mother duck thought he must be a young turkey cock. "I shall soon see," she said to herself, "whether he is or not, when he goes into the water." The next day she sprang into the creek with a splash, and one duckling after another sprang in after her. Even the big ugly one was swimming too, and beautifully. No turkey could swim like that, she thought. "Quack, quack, come with me, and I will take you to the barnyard, so that all the chickens, ducks, and turkeys may see you." "Look there, how ugly that one duck is," said the ducks, and one flew at him. "Let him alone," said the mother. "He is doing no harm." The poor ugly duckling, who had been the last to leave his shell, was beaten and pushed and made a fool of by the hens as well as the ducks. Even the turkey cock puffed himself up and swooped down on him, gobbling and getting red in the face. The poor duckling was very unhappy, and every day things grew worse and worse for him. He was even chased about by his sisters, who said, "I wish that cat would catch you." The ducks bit him, the hens beat him, and the girl who fed the poultry kicked him away with her foot. So he ran away and flew over the hedge. Even the little birds who saw him were frightened, and he thought it was because he was so ugly. The poor duckling, however, closed his eyes and ran away faster and faster until he came to a great meadow. He lay down in the reeds until morning, when 3 wild geese came by. "You are ugly, but we like you. Come with us," they said to him. Just at that moment, bang, bang went a gun, and the 3 geese fell down dead. Bang, bang, and all the other wild geese in the meadow flew up. The huntsmen were lying all around the meadow, hiding in the reeds. What a fright the poor duckling was in, especially when a big dog ran up with his tongue hanging out of his mouth. He showed his sharp teeth, but happily he turned away from the duckling. "Oh, I am glad I am so ugly, for even a dog will not bite me," said the duckling. And he lay still until the bullets of the huntsmen no more whistled through the reeds, and then hurried away as fast as he could. In the evening, he reached a little hut all tumbled down and dirty. He crept through the half-open door into a dark little room where an old woman sat. She lived here alone with her tomcat and pet hen. The cat she called her little son. He purred and put up his back if you rubbed him from his head to his tail, but sparks flew if you rubbed him the other way. The hen had short legs, so they called her Chickling Shortlegs. In the morning, when they saw the duckling, Tom began to purr and the hen to cluck. "What is the matter?" said the woman, for she could not see well and thought the duckling was a fat duck that had lost her way. "Oh, that is a fine catch," said she when Tom told her. "Now we can have all the duck eggs we want to eat." The duckling, for so they thought he was, stayed all winter with the old woman and her cat and hen. But one fine day in springtime, longing for a nice swim in the water, he went down to the brook and swam far away from the home of the old woman and her pets. But in the autumn, when it grew very cold, the poor duckling had a bad time. One morning, he saw a flock of beautiful swans come out of a thicket nearby. and a feeling came over the poor ugly duckling that he loved those beautiful birds as he had never loved anything before. Ah, how he longed to go with them! But he felt ashamed even to let them see how ugly he was. And while he was thinking this, away they flew without seeing him. The winter came, and it was so cold that he had to swim to keep from freezing. The pond froze over all, except one small opening in the ice where he had swam around. But this grew smaller and smaller, and finally the duckling was frozen fast in the ice. And there the next morning a man found him and carried him home. The children wanted to play with him, but the duckling thought they were going to hurt him, and in his terror he jumped right into the milk pail. The farmer's wife clapped her hands, and the children laughed and screamed and knocked each other down trying to catch him. The duckling flew out of the open door. He had a bad time after that all winter long, and how he lived through the cold winter nobody knows. At last, the warm spring came, and much to his surprise, the duckling found that his wings were so strong that he could fly swiftly through the air with ease. One day, he flew into a beautiful large garden. There, swimming around the lake, he saw the graceful white swans he had seen before, and whom he loved so much. He was very sad, though, when he saw these beautiful creatures, for he thought of himself as very ugly. Better be killed by them, he thought, than be beaten by ducks, hens, women, and children. So he flew into the water and swam toward the beautiful white swans. "Only kill me," said the poor creature, and he bowed his head on a level with the water. But what did he see in the clear water? Beneath him, as if in a looking glass, he saw his own image. No longer was he a dark, gray, ugly bird. He had grown to be a beautiful white swan. He was glad now, for he knew that all his sufferings were over. So he shook his feathers and stretched his slender, graceful neck and was happy ever after.